I really believe every single woman should have at least she should have at least $50,000 in silver, silver and gold put away somewhere safe. And I even think, I really believe married women should, they should quietly have their own private stash too, because life can change fast and sometimes women need options. And yeah, yes, I know that might upset some people, but I think having physical silver and gold gives women a level of security and independence that feels very important right now. I say this because the world feels uncertain in so many ways lately. I'm saying this because, yes, you don't want to be 100% dependent on a man, but also because prices keep rising, jobs feel unstable, relationships fail every day, and yeah, a lot of women secretly feel nervous about depending too much on their man financially. I'm just a regular woman working a normal job and trying to survive like everybody else. But the more I learn about silver and gold, the more I feel like physical metals give women something solid to hold on to when everything else feels shaky. I know some people will say keeping a private stash sounds dramatic, but I don't think women should ever feel trapped in a bad situation because they have no money of their own. The thing is, I also understand why many women feel overwhelmed even thinking about building a stack that large. Silver prices move all over the place, and sometimes it feels impossible to know if you're making the right decision. One week, silver crashes and everybody acts like it's dead. Then the next week, people start talking about shortages and industrial demand again. I don't fully understand all the moving pieces in the economy, but I can clearly see there are huge pressures building underneath the silver market right now. What keeps pulling me back towards silver is that industries still need massive amounts of it every year. Companies making electronics need silver. Solar panels need silver. Electric vehicles use silver. All this technology keeps expanding while people keep saying physical silver is becoming harder to keep up with demand. I may not understand every technical detail behind it, but I understand enough to know that if something becomes more important while supply stays tight, eventually that matters. That's why I get nervous watching stackers give up so easily during price drops. It feels like people focus too much on short-term frustration instead of the bigger picture underneath everything. Inflation still feels high to regular people, even if the headlines say things are improving. Bills still feel painful. Food still feels expensive. Rent still feels overwhelming. At the same time, silver demand keeps growing from industries that cannot simply stop using it overnight. I think a lot of women understand uncertainty better than people realize because women are constantly thinking ahead. Women think about safety. Women think about, they think about stability. Women think about what happens if life suddenly changes. That's why silver and gold make sense to me even outside of investing. It's not just about trying to get rich. It's about having something tangible that belongs to you no matter what happens around you. But I also want to be real about something that still scares me. I worry about how hard it could be to cash out precious metals when you truly need the money. That thought stays in my head constantly because stacking silver feels smart to me long term, but I also wonder what happens if there's a crisis and everybody suddenly wants to sell at the same time. I hear dealers talking about shortages one minute, but then I also hear stories about buyback prices disappointing stackers. That makes me anxious because I'm trying to protect myself while also wondering how liquid silver really becomes during stressful moments. Sometimes I think people outside the stacking world imagine silver as this perfect answer to every financial problem. But the truth is more complicated. Prices swing wildly. Dealers can lower their offers. Premiums rise and fall unpredictably. It feels exhausting sometimes trying to understand how all these pieces fit together. Yet even with all those worries, I still keep coming back to the same belief that owning physical silver feels safer to me than trusting everything completely to banks or paper assets. The other thing I keep thinking about is how quickly public opinion changes. Right now, many people seem bored with silver because prices have been frustrating. Some stackers, they are cashing out because they feel discouraged and tired of waiting. But markets can shift very fast. I mean, if inflation suddenly worsens again, or if shortages become more obvious, silver could attract attention overnight. That possibility sits in the back of my mind constantly because it feels like many people are giving up right before conditions potentially change. The strange part is, I don't even consider myself some expert on metals. I'm just trying to pay attention to what feels logical. And what feels logical to me is that silver keeps becoming more important to industries while regular people also keep losing confidence in the economy. That combination feels powerful, even if the price charts sometimes look ugly in the short term. I also think women understand fear differently because so many women have experienced financial insecurity at some point in life. Maybe it was a divorce. Maybe it was losing a job. Maybe it was depending on somebody who suddenly changed. That's why I feel strongly about women building their own stack, even if it takes years to do it slowly. Every ounce feels like a small piece of independence. And yes, I know some people will think keeping a private stash from a husband sounds wrong. But I think women deserve security too. I think every woman should quietly know that if life suddenly went bad, she has enough saved to survive and make decisions from a place of strength instead of desperation. Silver and gold represent that to me more than almost anything else right now.